There's that man again.
We talk about all kinds of fragrances on this channel, but sometimes you just want to get back to the basics. Sometimes you just want to wear something manly. We're about to talk about that. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Teddy Files. I'm your resident sommelier, Mr. Diaz Teddy. And today we're talking about no muss, no fuss, manly fragrances. Fragrances that you put on when you just want to smell just manly without any kind of frills. You just want to smell like a guy. And the first fragrance that I got coming up today is one that will accomplish just that, and that would be Merchant of Venice Dalmatian Sage. So this fragrance here, earthy, very, very vetiver forward. But the clary sage, you get a lot of that green, earthy, just just once again, just green feel of the clary sage. This fragrance right here is absolutely fantastic, especially for something that you might want to wear that could be a little bit more on the manly side for the summertime. It's something that is probably not going to be the most mass appealing thing, but you know what? Sometimes you just got to wear a fragrance because you like it. It can't be about what everybody else thinks about it. And this fragrance right here, it comes across with clary sage, lemon, grapefruit, middle notes of pepper, base notes of vetiver and cedar. And the vetiver and the clary sage are kind of what stands out in this fragrance a little bit. Like I said, it's a very, very green, yet earthy. And to me, the vetiver has a little bit of a smoky nature to it. It is maybe a 6-hour fragrance. This one isn't on the pricey side. If you get it for the tester, I will see if I can find it and I'll put it in the description box. But even at full presentation, it's not the most expensive fragrance. I think they range upwards around about $70 or $80. So it's not that bad, especially for a niche level fragrance. And that's exactly what this is. It's a niche fragrance that is perfect for the summertime, and that would be Merchant of Venice Dalmatian Sage. So the next fragrance that I got coming up is one that I find extremely masculine and extremely attractive fragrance, and that would be Mubusin Homme. Weird bottle, even weird top. Yeah, it's a hell to get off, but the fragrance. If you're looking for barbershop fougere type fragrances, if you're looking for something manly with a little bit of a twist, because on the back end of the fragrance, you get a little bit of sweetness. And for the most part, with fougères, they're pretty much straightforward. But this one has just a slight bit of sweetness, but it's not sweet to the point to where it starts to get into the realm of unisex. It is not a unisex fragrance. Now, anybody can wear whatever they want, but in my opinion, this is mostly catered towards men, especially with these fragrance notes that you got coming up here. You have the lavender, rosemary, and bergamot, cinnamon, patchouli, and sage with vanilla, sandalwood, and musk. And of course, you're going to mostly find lavender in a lot of those barbershop type of fougere fragrances, and especially some of the musk, but it's a bit of the spiciness that comes from the cinnamon and a little sweetness from that vanilla that actually gives it their back end smell. I have it on my hand now. Yeah, when you get towards the back end, you get a lot more of the patchouli, a little bit more of the musk, but you also get some of the vanilla and a little bit of that cinnamon. This one right here is a really good fragrance, and it is not expensive. I think I got this for about $22. So that's not bad for something that actually helps you smell pretty manly. And 4, maybe 5 hours out of it is what I've gotten out of it when I've worn it before. So that's not bad for $22. Like I said, I'll put it in the description box if you guys are interested in it. Now, if you don't like barbershop fougères, please do not go out and buy this and then hit me back up talking about, hey man, I bought this right here and this is just old school. Yeah, it's a barbershop fougere, so it's going to be kind of old school. This is strictly man's business, and that would be Mauboussin Homme. So So the next fragrance that I got coming up is one that if you don't have any confidence, you probably shouldn't put this on, because this fragrance will wear you. And what you want to do is make sure you're wearing the fragrance. And because it's very earthy and it's very manly. And the fragrance that I'm talking about today is Jacques Fath's Essentials La Loden, or La Loden, whatever, however you pronounce it. I pronounce it like this: man stuff, man fragrance. Just in all honesty, to me, it's not challenging for me. I absolutely adore this fragrance. I love it. I have worn it on several occasions. I know it doesn't look like it. I know, but that's a little that's well, it's not quite a dent. It's kind of a nudge. But I did have given it a nudge, because this is a great fragrance for high heat. It's a great fragrance for in the office, as long as you watch your sprays, because it can get a little bit overwhelming if you do too much of it. This is another niche company, but it's not an expensive niche company. So this is something that is quite affordable. And some of the fragrance notes that you have in this one, if you don't like vetiver, don't get this, because it's vetiver heavy. You got your Haitian vetiver, ginger, pink pepper, mandarin orange. You got middle notes of bourbon vetiver. You also have some juniper berries, bourbon geranium, raspberry leaf, java vetiver, tobacco, patchouli, and ylang-ylang. 3 different kinds of vetivers. That's going to let you know that it is earthy, smoky, somewhat green. You have a little bit of tobacco in there, but the tobacco is more of a, let's say, more of a, he's a bit of a backup plan. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys he's the guy that stands in the back, backing up the situation. Because what you mostly get is earthy vetiver. You get a lot more of the, just a lot more of the juniper berry and the patchouli as well, because that patchouli note comes out pretty heavily. But the vetiver, like I said, if you're not a fan of vetiver, don't you get this fragrance. But if you are a lover of vetiver, 3 different kinds of vetivers in this one. And also, by the way, magnetic cap. You always know how we love those. And that would be Jacques Fath's Essentials La Loden. So the next fragrance that I got coming up is somewhat earthy and aromatic, and in my opinion, it is actually something pretty good for date night, and that would be Boss Bottled Night. The blue bottle, everybody. This one here, bit metallic, but you can't deny the freshness. You can't deny the clean smell of it. Has a little bit of a it's kind of hard to put into words. That I know it has that lavender at the top, that clean, soapy, fresh lavender at the top. But there's something else in this fragrance that is extremely appealing to me. It's possibly the birch or the violet, but you also have some woodsy notes and some musk. But I believe it's the combination of the violet and the lavender as well that is, to me, making this something that is definitely manly, not very challenging, pretty good for date night, good for office situation. Good 6 hours out of it is what I got. This is a really good fragrance, and it projects. It projects pretty well. You get some good sillage out of this one, so don't sleep on this. If you haven't gotten it, you might want to go try to get your hands on Boss Bottled Night. So the next fragrance that I got coming up is absolutely perfect for almost any situation there is. You can name it, it's probably going to work in it. And to me, there's a nice masculine clean fragrance, and that would be Versace Pour Homme. One of my go-tos. Definitely a beautiful citrusy opening, that beautiful clean, just blast of citrus at the top of this fragrance. Honestly, I don't really see how anybody can really hate on this fragrance. To me, every time I've worn it, I could never go wrong with it. Some of your fragrance notes in this one are lemon, bergamot, neroli, red rose, rose de mai, hyacinth, cedar, clary sage, geranium. You also have in your base notes, you have your tonka bean, your musk, and your amber. But for me, it's a lot about that beautiful lemon and bergamot at the top. You get some of those nice soft woods at the back end of this fragrance. This is an amazing fragrance. And you got that base with the amber. It's not a lot of sweetness, but it just really gives a nice balance to the fragrance. Inoffensive, perfect for pretty much any situation. This is pretty much a Swiss Army knife fragrance. One of the best Swiss Army knife fragrances in my collection. And I'm so glad to have it. And you might want to get it in yours. And that would be Versace Pour Homme. So the last fragrance that I got coming up today for me was one of my bucket listers. It's something I smelled a while ago, and I just had to have it in my collection. It took me a while, but I finally got it, and I'm so glad that I did because I've given it several wearings so far, and I've not been disappointed. And that would be Gucci Guilty Cologne. Pour Homme Cologne. This fragrance right here takes the Gucci Guilty DNA and makes it fresher, and even in some cases, a slight bit sweeter. This is a really great fragrance, guys. It is something that I could not wait. And I tell you, I could not wait to get this in my collection. I could not wait to get it on my skin. Um, it is perfect for quite a few different types of situations. I've actually even worn this one to work out, and it held up pretty good during the workout. Now, it's not the heaviest projector. It's not the longest lasting fragrance in the world, but it is definitely something that is worth having in your collection, especially with some of these fragrance notes that you got coming up here. You have your you got your juniper berries, your rosemary, your Calabrian bergamot. You got that cypress, the violet, the halethorpe in the middle, but you also have that white musk at the bottom with the cedar and the patchouli leaf. You get the beautiful, some of that creaminess from that patchouli leaf and the musk from that white musk, the woods from the cedar. This is a all-around, well-rounded fragrance, and it's something that I'm absolutely ecstatic to have in my collection. You might want to try to get it in yours as well, and that will be Gucci Guilty Pour Homme Cologne. Well, everybody, that is my time. I want to thank you for joining me over here on the Teddy Files to talk about these manly fragrances. And please let me know in the comments section the fragrances that you consider manly, because there was a couple that I left off of the list that probably should have been on, especially Polo Green. That is definitely a man's fragrance, but we'll hit that on the list another time. Please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the channel because it helps the channel to grow. And please make sure you hit that bell icon so it'll notify you every time I upload a video, because my name is Mr. Diaz Teddy, your fragrance sommelier. And over here, we don't do stink, so please don't be a stink ass. Have a good one.